50 sessions of season 1 of free webinars. And this is the season 2 of free webinars conducted by IHMA Kerala State Chapter. Dear delegates, I request you all to make fruitful use of all webinars because only permitted recordings alone will be uploaded in the YouTube, because some recordings consist of the informations of the patients which cannot be disclosed in the internet. So I request all the delegates to make fruitful use of all the webinars. And IHMA is a pan-Indian association like unity in diversity. Last week, we had faculties from North delivering some very useful, informative and beautiful lectures. And today, as a speaker, we have from South. I invite Dr. Tejasvi Patel ma'am, National Committee member of IHMA Karnataka, to introduce a speaker for today and also to give some details about IHMA Karnataka. Ma'am.
Dr. Vinodini, this is Dr. Tejasvi. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. As you all know, IHMA is an international organization of elite homeopaths, and IHMA Karnataka is its state branch. In Karnataka, we are doing a lot of activities, including recently free distribution of COVID-19 immune booster medicines, and also a lot of CMEs and seminars, okay, in the past. Now I would like to introduce the faculty of today's seminar. Dr. H.L. Swami, who is a very dynamic person, as I know him very closely. He is a very efficient teacher, because like I have never seen him using any notes or anything prepared material when he teaches to the students. And students, they love him and they love his teaching. And he has done his BHMS from Bangalore University and his PG from Baba Ambedkar University, Maharashtra. He has finished his PG in 2004, and presently he is working as professor in the Department of Pharmacy, Bhagwan Buddha Homeopathy, Medical College, Bangalore. And earlier he was principal of Anuradha Homeopathy Medical College, and also he worked in Government Homeopathy Medical College also in various departments. And he is founder and director of National Institute of Clinical Excellence, NICE, which is a very good institution which is training many budding homeopaths, not only budding homeopaths, many homeopaths who are not in a classical homeopathic line. So he is the one who is the founder, and he is successfully conducting this NICE classes from many years. He is also chairman of Karnataka Qualified Homeopathic Doctors Association, KQHDA, which is one of the very prestigious and premier institution in Karnataka. He is a resource person for National Health Mission, Government of Karnataka and Government of Puducherry. He is member, expert committee, Department of Ayush, Government of Karnataka. So he is a former organizing secretary in International Conference 2017. He is consultant, a former consultant, Bangalore Metropolitan Transport Corporation. So like as there are so many things which we cannot tell in this short time of period. But as we all know him, he is very dynamic, young and inspiring homeopath, and having a very successful practice in Bangalore. With this introduction, I hand over to the organizer and I invite Dr. H.L. Swami sir to present this session. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Yes, sir. Swami sir, you can start the screen sharing.
Okay. Is it visible?
Yes, sir. You can start the play button, sir. No problem.
Okay.
Okay, sir. Just click on present on this device. Yes. Yes. Sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's coming. Okay, sir. Thank you.
May I audible?
Yeah, it's a very good. It's very clear, sir.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Tejasvi. He spoke very nice about me. I don't know I'm really for that or not. The audience has to tell today. And I thank IHMA for giving me this opportunity. And today, I can go straight for the topic. Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Today, we are going to discuss few things about the different approaches in homeopathic prescription. It's a multi-dimensional approach. As you all know, homeopathy is a very broad and pluralistic approach. There are so many things, and especially for the neonates, the young generation, always they will get confused with the multiple methods of practicing, and whenever they attend the seminars, workshops, and especially with the different methods, and first and foremost thing I see what they will be saying, the first thing is they think that they don't know anything, and the speaker knows everything. So that makes them set back in starting their practice. See, as there in philosophy, as they tell, there are different paths for the salvation. Each path has its own method, own pros and cons. It is nothing to be carried away by any one path. If you are clear about what you know and your approach, your application, then you will reach the destiny. So today I'll try to explain with different types of cases and different approaches. Okay, here if I take any this thing method, I'm not making anybody's pointing out. I'm just trying to show the both pros and cons of if at all when I discuss about certain methods. Okay. See this lady. After the homeopathic treatment, the lady, the change you can see with her. So these things is possible only with homeopathy. The method what we use here will be different from, you can see this. Is it clear? Deepu? Visible?
Yes, sir. It's very clear, sir.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir, it's clear. Clear,
So
sir.
these are the wards, genital wards. Okay?
Okay.
See the change. The method what we use there, it cannot be used here. So the challenges in homeopathic practice is always we should know how to make use of the organon at bedside. It is very easy when they explain with the aphorism numbers on the classroom. But when it comes to your clinical practice, how we should apply the organon, the practical part, actually organon should be taught at bedside. That is the right way of teaching the organon. So because I heard that there are a lot of students are here in this one, so I am just, these things maybe it's already known for the veterans, the senior doctors. I'm just going very brief about this. Okay. So the dilemma with the younger practitioners or the students is how to apply the organon bedside, how to use repertory effectively, how to breathe the life in homeopathic Materia Medica. This is very, very important. You should visualize the persons so that you can really make the characters of those drugs. Then it will be easy to identify the similar remedy person when he walks into your clinic. How to read the language of the patient, how to erect the totality, and how to acquire the knowledge to prescribe, perceive the connection. This is also important. See, one is knowing and understanding, and second thing is making a connection between these three important poles. See, we have, let's say, like a triangle, trinity, the organon, repertory, and Materia Medica, and how to acquire that knowledge to perceive this connection. This is also very important. This is how we have to, how to go ahead. That is one of the biggest challenges for a homeopath. See, nowadays there is too much of information is available every way. It may be in the internet, it may be through the webinars, it may be through the WhatsApp or other social media. But how to connect this information to make use to our clinical practice? The knowledge or the information is different. With the experience, you see how we connecting it. As I told you, how to connect with the Materia Medica, organon, repertory. In the same way, you should know how to connect these information and make use of it. That is the experience. And if you are well versed with both the knowledge and experience, then you can create a masterpiece. That is the creativity. See, homeopathy is an art or the science. Sorry. I wanted to go back. Can I get the audience response?
Yes, sir. Everybody is responding. Actually, they are not able to see you. Your video turned off. Actually,
I don't know how to see this thing.
okay,
Yes.
yeah, you can just go to the Zoom and you can make the video on. You can turn the video on. No problem.
Okay.
Just start the video button, sir. Ah, yes, it's okay now.
Okay.
Yeah, now it's
Yeah.
yeah.
In this stage, I wanted to understand. Yes, visible now. Okay. So in this stage, I wanted to know the homeopathy is an art or a science? Or is it an artistic science, a scientific art? So
Sir, you can tell, sir. We can see. We can see, sir.
Yes, yes, yes. Now I'm seeing. I'm seeing now. Yes, yes, yes. It is both a science and art. This is the one which is based on the scientific factors, basically science, but with an artistic approach. This is where the difference between the allopathy and homeopathy comes. In allopathy or in the modern medicine practice, your artistic application is limited. Basically, it's a science, it's a protocol. They have to see the protocol. They have to follow the protocol. Whereas, when it comes to the homeopathy, it is on the basis of the principles. Our principles are scientific. You got it? On
Yes, sir.
that,
We are getting.
the application will be the artistic application. On that basis, you can, that is what it sometimes what happens, no? What I cannot cure the patient, Tejasvi may cure it, or Deepu may cure it, because the approach, this is an art. For that, you should have the strong foundation of your basics. Your basic knowledge should be very strong, and based on that, with your experience, you can create the creativity that makes you are the artist. The artistic one, it has to be practiced. You got it? With your strong foundation on scientific basis. One minute, I'll check it.
Okay, you can share the screen, sir.
Can't see the both together?
Yeah, no problem, sir. Sir, when your screen is sharing, the video will be automatically turned on. It's okay, sir. You can, the audio is visible now. Clear now, not visible. You can start the session, sir. Both can't do in a mobile, sir.
Okay.
No problem, sir.
So now we will see the myth and reality. We always think, no, allopathic is the most modern medicine. See, when a patient walks in, see, this cartoon tells 1,000 words about that. More than a words, this cartoon can show, or this picture can show it tells the stories. The patient when walks in the hospital, the way he will be treated, seen, and ultimately it will lead to the death. There is one more interesting cartoon. So where a modern medicine person is telling, we have exhausted all conventional measures. One last desperate option is to put on the alternative medicine like homeopathy, which has a 96% success rate. So this is the irony of today's modern medicine. How long it will take us to realize? You can see, actually, we are seeing here, head is down and legs is up. Actual picture is, head is up only. The way it is represented is different. So many times, the reality represents like this. There are so many myths around the practice of homeopathy. One of the biggest myth is it is slow medicine, or is it magic? It will do the magic. Okay, so or it is like a placebo, which is generally the people non-homeopaths always they have this one claim, no, it's a placebo effect. So one more biggest myth is you should follow the lot of diet restriction when you are taking homeopathic medicine. For your kind information, generally they have no, while taking homeopathy, you should not drink coffee, you should not eat onion, garlic. For last 30 years of my practice, I never told any patient to abstain from anything. See, in Bangalore, I don't know whether you know it or not, people are very fond of coffee. So my guru used to always tell that when you cut the veins of the Bangaloreans, blood doesn't flow, it's only coffee flows. So now the scenario is changed. Now a lot of the people from North India, from northern belt, people moved and they are taking more tea and all. Otherwise, native Bangaloreans is very fond of coffee. In the beginning of my practice, that was the biggest hurdle. They used to tell, sir, we know homeopathy is a good medicine, but I cannot stop coffee. So I used to tell, if the given medicine is right, either you drink coffee or whiskey, it has to act. So there is no particular diet restriction in general. Yes, we have certain remedies while giving that medicine, we tell to abstain from coffee. So like Naxwamika, or when you are giving puja, we tell don't take raw onion. But it is not a general practice. Our medicines are much more powerful and active. If the given selected medicine is right, it definitely will act. Okay? And when it comes to the placebo, our Professor B.M. Megde is always used to tell. So it is better to be placebo than nocebo. So placebo which pleases the patients. It's a scientific action that definitely we have the well-proven track record of having treated so many cases. Only thing is, whenever we take up the cases, always it is better to maintain the evidence, maintain the records, show with evidence. Then the people will not talk about the placebo. And one more this thing is, they always say that it is not for all. It is nothing like that. It works for everybody. When it is working for the animals, the newborn children, so it can work for anyone. It is not like only the people who believe it works. No. But when you believe it, the medicines works better. And one more the myth around homeopathy is, it is only for the chronic diseases. No, we can handle all types of acute diseases also. That's why I told it is not slow in acting. See, I will show one acute emergency case, what we treated. The lady is about around 28 years, female. She approached us on the 4th of December in 2013. Actually, she was admitted in the hospital and her surgery was due on the weekend, Saturday. It was an emergency surgery. There is a calculus in the common bile duct. Because of the calculus, there was secondary pancreatitis due to the calculus. So patient was unable to even drink the water. Forget about the food. And being she herself is a doctor, homeopathic doctor, she consulted. On Wednesday night she called. Sir, can we do anything? Suddenly the pain was so severe, I admitted. I told you send your husband. We'll send the medicine. Next day, Thursday, he came. We sent the medicine. I told before going for the scan on the Saturday morning, you go for before going to surgery, you go for one more scan. Saturday morning. Friday evening, she called. That is next day. She called and asked, sir, the scanning center will not be open in the morning. Can I do it now? So I told, okay, just see the date. It is on the 6th December. The 4th December was the previous scan. 5th we give her the medicine. 6th December by evening, the calculus is moved out. and surgery was cancelled. Now you think it's slow? Homeopathy is slow? Is this slow? So there are some dogmas or enigmas about the homeopathy. One of the biggest enigma is the potency selection. The potency is the second most debatable thing in homeopathy practice. Which is the right potency? Some person says he gives all the medicine in only 30 potency. And he got a very good success. And he got his own hospital also, homeopathic hospital. Some people are very fond of 200. They tell, sir, we don't want to take the risk, neither low nor high, 200. Everything is in 200. Some people are very fond of only high potencies. See, when the white may be a good color, but when there are so many colors in the world, all flowers in all the colors look very beautiful than in one color. The same way, when the potencies are there, you can make use of the potency. Potencies, when you flexible with the different potencies, you can achieve the results much better. So when the potency selection should be depending on the case, not on the physician. Some cases demand the low potency, some cases demand the very high potencies, like the case what you see. So that case, I given the potency was the CM. You can see the result within 24 hours to 30 hours, the calculus is lodged out, dislodged. See, when your remedy is sure, when the condition is this thing clear, give the high potency, you can expect the result much faster. Even Dr. Vitolka says the same thing in his talks on classical homeopathy. You all know the first chapter when he is talking about the fever case of the doctor who was the student who was working there. The child of the doctor couple, he had a high fever, and Dr. Vitolkas prescribes, I think, phosphorus in 50 m. She was little scared to give 50 m. She gives the 10 m, and patient was better by next day. And she asked, sir, you asked 50 m, I gave you. What would have happened if I given 50 m? He tells the child would have been better by evening. See, that is the power of potencies. If you use the right remedy in the right potency, the right repetition, see, it acts much faster. The simillimum doesn't mean only similar remedy. Simillimum means the similar remedy with the right potency. Right remedy with the right potency, then it will become the simillimum. And second dogma or second most this thing is the enigma is the with miasms. So most confusing thing in the homeopathic world is miasms. So many people doesn't believe in the miasms at all, and they no source. See, miasms gives the clarity in understanding the pathology, in understanding the depth, and selecting the right remedy. No sorts also. No sorts are also wonderful homeopathic medicines. No sorts can be used not only as an intercurrent or anti-miasmatic, it can be used as any other indicated medicines. There are few practitioners, the stalwarts, even in the history, they did not like much about the no sorts. Like Dr. Lippe, he never believed in no sorts. He never used it. He was a very successful practitioner. Whereas Dr. Clark and Dr. Fobister, this made the no sorts so interesting, so powerful. Today, if at all we are using the carcinosin, the majority of the indications goes to the Dr. Fobister. He made it. So no sorts is also, don't be hesitant to use no sorts. I see why I am putting all these things. with a lot 30 years of my experience, a lot of my students, when it comes to the notes, sir, why you are giving tuberculum, sir, in the beginning? So why you are giving tuberculum for the fever? So they are so scared about the notes. Don't be scared. It is like any other homeopathic medicine. The preparation, how you prepare from the plant, animal, mineral, same way in the nostrils. Be open and be confident when you are using the medicines. Is it very difficult to practice? Practice, either it's a miracle or miserable. Nothing. Only thing is, in the beginning of the practice, not only for homeopathy, any medical practice, always in the beginning it will have your own distinct. So you should have a lot of patience. You make use of the time what you get and take the case properly, work out properly, and use the time what you get for the betterment of your, and each case is a learning session for you. You will improve by each case. Our sir, Dr. B.D. Patel sir used to tell. So we all, when we join the DHMS, we are in like a mother teachers. As year passes, our potencies will increase. So after the practice of 10 years, you become, so you will become around 200 1M potency, like that one. So this practice makes us more perfect, and without compromising the basic principles of homeopathy. There is a homeopathic practice very flexible. You practice, don't be afraid. Like if you give some wrong medicine, what happens? There will be a suppression. Nothing like that. With one wrong prescription will not make your patient any this thing, especially homeopathic medicine. Sometimes it happens. Even the most stalwarts also, they change several drugs before arriving at the simillimum. Not in all the cases, in few cases, even herring, there was one, this thing I was studying, he changed around 20 remedies. He could not find out the right simillimum, which way he could not find out you can give the relief. Then on the further consultation, patient told that he used to get aggravated the morning 4 a.m. He used to get the cough at morning 4 a.m. Then he tells, I will cure you, don't worry. See, this will happen. Don't feel hesitant to practice. So suppressions will happen only when non-dynamic medicine or improper unscientific repetition of the medicines may happen. Not with the one medicine, with the wrong medicine. Don't have that fear. Be confident and you practice. And one more biggest dogma is you have to get mind symptom for everything. Mind. So mind, you become mental. It is not that. Mind symptoms are the unique symptoms. If it is there, it is very good. That gives the right simillimum. So it is like a face of the person. It is much easy to identify the remedy, but not that every case you will get the mental symptoms. Okay. Before going to the cases, Dr. Deepu.
Yes, sir. I'm here, sir.
Before going to cases, I have the cases now. Before going to the cases, I wanted to have discussions. So until this, I will come back to the video.
It's okay, sir. You can
I can continue.
Yeah, you can continue. Sir, there is
any questions?
I think there is no doubt, sir. That only thing was what was the medicine given to the last case, sir.
Everything I will tell. I am coming to the all cases. I will tell the medicines what I given, why I given. All this will come. I'm just showing how the different approaches for the different cases. Okay?
Yes. Okay, sir. You can continue with the case. No problem, sir.
So now, here you will understand how each approach has a benefit. Okay? So I will take my first case is a male aged about 30 years working as an administrative officer in a private company. He came to me in the month of October 15, 2015 with the following complaint. Had a severe jaundice for 1.5 years. 1.5 years had the jaundice. It is increased last 1 month. Excessive weakness, loss of appetite, unable to eat. He was only on the liquid diet. Just imagine, for more than a month, he was just only on the liquid diet. My voice is clear? I am audible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
And face is okay. I am too fast. You want me to slow down?
Nothing like that, sir. You can continue. You are the correct pace. Okay.
No? Okay. Pain is
You are
because
perfect, sir.
of eating or drinking, and you used to feel better by belching. Has the number of stools was increased, but it was not loose, but motions are frequent. It was 6 to 8 times per day, and sometimes he used to lose the control over it. And every time when he passes the urine, he used to pass the stool also. Lack of control. Desire for whiskey, chronic alcoholic last 15 years, and it was increased for last 1.5 years. He used to drink even in the daytime, mornings. Morning, it is like a bed coffee, the bed whiskey. He used to like the food which is spicy, salty, but he wanted the food should be fresh and hot. So he never used to take what they prepared for the afternoon, never used to eat at night, and vice versa. Sleep better in daytime, disturbed sleep at night. Used to wake up every half an hour once. The investigation report shows that it was a liver cirrhosis case, hepatosplenomegaly, chronic liver disease with a mild ascites, umbilical hernia. Endoscopy revealed large esophageal varices, portal hypertension, and gastropathy. Portal hypertensive gastropathy. This is the case. And this is visible, or I will make little enlarged the investigation reports. Maybe
We can enlarge it in our phone. Okay, no problem, sir.
okay. So the liver function test showed the total bilirubin was 18.9 and direct bilirubin was 13.7. Okay. Alkaline phosphate was 209. Okay. This was on the 2nd October. Okay. So now tell me what do you think for this case? What is the remedy you think? You know, worn out person, chronic alcoholic, liver cirrhosis, they in the hospital where he was admitted, the chances was very less, they are telling. So patient, they are recommending for the liver transplant, which he could not afford as he was working in a private company without any much life insurance coverage. So that desperate, this thing they came to us.
Okay, sir. Sir, there are lots of suggestions from the chat box. Dr. Vinodini, can you read some?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Few remedies you can read.
So like Nux vomica, Lycopodium,
Very good.
Chelidonium,
Very
Cardus
good.
marianus,
Very good.
Chionanthus Q,
Very
Acid
good.
Elf.
Good.
Many of them have suggested Nux vomica, sir.
Nux vomica. I also done the same thing. I prescribed Nux vomica 30, 3 doses on first day, followed by Chelidonium Q, mother tincture, 6 drops for twice a day. You got it?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But to my disappointment, there is no much change with this my prescription. When he came on the after 5 days, they came. no much changes. Bilirubin count was 18.6 total count, and direct bilirubin was 12.2, SGOT 129, SGPT was 68. At that time, I prescribed Chelidonium 200. You got it?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Difference after giving the Chelidonium. Within a week time, within I think a week to 10 days time, the liver function test shows the entirely different picture. One is patient was recovered very fast. He started eating now, which was not there for more than 1.5 years. He was only on the liquid food and he was hospitalized. So his weakness came down. He started eating, and his bilirubin count, total count, come down to 10. The direct bilirubin came to 6.4. SGOT 100, SGPT around 86. So all the parameters started showing very well. He admitted in that hospital, Mano Charitable Hospital is one of the hospitals managed by the Jindal Trust, this hospital. So there the patient was admitted. The hospital authorities was find very useful with this thing, and he started. Is one of the cousin sister was the physician there. She was so happy, and she called me and told that he is with your medicine is improving very well. Okay, and the next follow-up after 2 weeks, after 31st, that is the 12th. After Chelidonium 200, I never prescribed any medicine except only on Saclan, only placebo. It is the disease with the cirrhotic one, pathology was so high. After that 3 packets of Chelidonium 200, I am not prescribed, because when the patient is improving, we should not administer any medicines. Always keep quiet when the patient is improving. Allow the body to correct. Okay. So bilirubin total count came down from 10 to 6, and the direct bilirubin, it came down to 4.5. And see the SGOT, SGPT from around 100, it came down to 56 and 54 within 2 weeks. And again after 2 weeks, again the parameters are improving. SGOT, SGPT came to normal, 33, 31. The bilirubin was little on higher side still, it is 4.4, but comparatively it is less, from 6 to it came down to 4. And December, the bilirubin count was 3.3 and 1.8. And SGOT, SGPT is also normal. See here, alkaline phosphate started rised. It shows physiologically the changes are happening. On the January 9th, all his parameter came to almost normal. And patient was discharged and he went back home. He started leading his normal life. We instructed very strictly that only thing is he will be normal as long as he abstains from the alcohol. The day he starts, again it may relapse. And I think it is almost more than 5 years, the patient has never turned back to me. So it shows that he is doing good. Okay. So what here I want to tell is, we always have that, the conception is that in the pathological cases, we need to repeat so many things. And sometimes, as I told you, even I did it. So we started giving them other tinctures. The potencies are the one which gives, when its indication is right, it does wonders. So this case shown as how the medicine which has the pathological affinity, even though Naxwamika was more towards that person, but it is the organ medicine. The pathologically affinity was more with the Chelidonium, because Chelidonium is less used, less oftenly used. We may not more oftenly, we are not using it. We may not know the more depth of it. Nux vomica is a polycrest we use very oftenly. The picture comes very easily for us. But when the Simillimum is selected right and the given in, see the magic, see the changes. It is not overnight changes. It took around 3 months, but see the changes, drastic changes, without any replacement, without any liver transplant. We could make his life come back to normal. He started working and he is leading a normal life now. The next, the misconceptions, especially with the religious followers of the homeopathic, is, see, the intuitional prescriptions. So sometimes they tell, no, so mera baba aaya tha sapne mein, my father came and told, give this medicine beta. So I made this formula and it is successful. So there is nothing like that one. There is no intuitional prescription in homeopathy. It is all intentional prescription. The prescription what we give in homeopathy is intentional prescription, no intuition prescription. But when you are practicing for a long time, sometimes it happens when the patient sitting in front of you, as he or she narrating the case, the drug comes very clearly, it pops out. Like how Hahnemann says, no, like a roasted pigeon. It will just pop out. It is not intuition. This is what you work hard for so many years, so that automatically it will narrow down to the a drug. It doesn't mean that any intuitional prescription. It is all prescriptions are intentional prescription. What for the youngsters I suggest is, always go with the, at least in the beginning, follow the route, take the proper case, work out, repertorize, come to the small group of drug, read, go back to the Materia Medica, read all those drugs, see the differentiation, and then you will prescribe. If you keep doing, at least for 10 years, if you practice this, then you will be oriented in such a way, with the less time spending with the repertory, you can arrive at the Simillimum. So this work, what you are to do, at least for 8 to 10 years, you have to work hard. You have to repertorize as much cases, as much of all the cases. Then you will be more and more trained. So Dr. M.L. Dawla used to tell, it's like a donkey's work. So you have to do the donkey work in the beginning. Then your prescription will improve. So second misconception is lab investigation. It may not be required. No, lab investigation is equally important for a homeopath. As you seen in the last case, we can see not only for the diagnosis, even for the prognosis, lab reports are important. Sometimes lab reports help us to identify the pathology and identify the right miasm, and it may help to come to see the prognosis also. Okay? And secrecy. I think nowadays nobody has this one, secrecy. Before, when I was passed out in the 1990, at that time, people used to say, our seniors used to, when I wanted to go and work in our seniors clinic, they used to tell, it's all our secret, how can we reveal to it? Nowadays, the information era, lot of things are, the secrecy part may be less, but the problem is opposite, is too much of information. So we should know which is reliable, which should be followed. And other thing is, never fail. Don't take that one. No, it is not that one. Nobody, without failing, anybody will become success. Even today, of 30 years of my practice, even now also we see the cases. Some cases are there which we may not be successful. The failure is the stepping stone for success. It is not like we never failed. We all fail, and the failure only teach us better lessons. And the last one is, only my method is right. This I'm little concerned. So there are, especially in homeopathy, there are a lot of different methods or schools are coming up. There is one joke in the homeopathy circle in Bombay. Every 10 years, a new Hahnemann comes. Every 10 years, there is a new method will be there. So it is to understand the system, to understand the materia medica, to understand the patient. If you are following, you are understand, it may improve your understanding. It may be right. I am not saying they are not right. I am only problem is if they are telling I am right. That is the problem. It is nothing like I am the right. There are so many paths or methods are there. So where as a student, see, for me, all homeopaths until their death, they are all students only. We are all students. We learn every day. So for a student, we should know that the methods, each method has its own strength and own limitation. There should not be, my method is right, is not better. Ultimately, the right method is only what Hahnemann taught and what Kent taught, Hahnemann and Kent. So even today, after practicing for 30 years, I always keep telling this one. I wanted to prove the Hahnemann and Kent is wrong. Unfortunately, I could not succeed. So there, that is the method, what we call it as either you call it as a classical method or a single, this single medicine at a time, the minimum dose based on the symptom similarity or minimum, that is the method of what Hahnemann and Kent thought, that is the right method. So we'll move to the other case. Any doubt in this stage? We'll go for the next case.
Dr. Vinodini?
Yes, sir.
No problem. We can move to next case.
So there are some queries from the participants.
Okay.
Query
I will clear it.
Sir, sorry, sir.
So I will clear it in this stage, or I will after this case will take up.
So can we take 5 minutes question and answer session, sir?
Please.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So this query is from Dr. Priyanka. This case was a pathological case. Low potency like mother tincture in chelidonium didn't help, but why, sir?
See what happens. No, the dynamism or the dynamism of the patient and the disease was, the functional levels are much higher than what we thought. By just going by the cirrhosis and this one, we thought that his reactive power is so low. So we thought of giving mother tincture. But his dynamism is much better. So that's what I told you.
Okay.
Is always that the right remedy with the right potency, only it's minimum, not just only the right potency. The chelidonium, the mother tincture would have been worked if I were given for much longer. It would have taken much longer time. What 200 gave the result in weeks, the mother tincture would have been given the same result. It would have taken months. You got it?
Okay, sir. Okay.
Lesser
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Please.
So lesser the potency, dynamism will be much less. So it has to match. It has to match the dynamism of the patient and the disease. The right potency will match. That unlocks the case. Okay?
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. So there is one more query from Dr. Madhushri. How analysis was done in this case, sir?
Yeah, as I told you, see, after repertorizing only we come to the Naxomica. But chelidonium was also there. I did not show the repertorial sheet and the other things. Chelidonium was also there, but it was not ranking high. So the very characteristic symptom was for the chelidonium was a strong desire for the food which is very hot, served to be hot. That was the thing which is coming to me, which was giving an indication, apart from the other indications like the seat of the disease, the pathology and other things. But this one was the one which made me to give the chelidonium.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Okay, next question.
Sir, that's all, sir. Can we move on to next case, sir?
Yeah, please. Okay.
Yes, sir. Please, sir. Yes, sir.
So here, the next case was a female visited to my center on 2016, October 26th, whose age about around 29 years. She is a software engineer by profession, recently married. It was a love marriage. She came with the following complaints. There was the swelling of face, aggravation in the morning on waking and evenings, more on the left side, with distension of abdomen, loss of appetite, nausea after eating since 2-3 weeks. So her presenting complaint was swelling of the face, loss of appetite, nausea with a distension of abdomen. All these problems for last 2-3 weeks. Naturally, appetite was less, bowels were regular, the desire for sweets, sleep was normal. In the past history, she had a migraine in the school days. There was some skin problem before the marriage. So she took some homeopathic medicine treatment and she was better. The family history, mother has an arthritic pain, hypertension. The grandfather, paternal grandfather is a diabetic. And patient is very ambitious, want to come up in profession, very sensitive. She used to get hurt easily, get excited easily, especially whenever there is some important occasion. There will be no sleep at that time. Dwells on the past things, anger easily, but does not express with everyone. Weeps not so easy. Her weight was 68 kgs when she came. So one of the information she revealed while giving the case was she took some postponement tablet last month, as there was some puja at home after the marriage. After there was some puja, important puja was there. For that purpose, she took the date maybe nearer. She doesn't want it to disturb, so she took some postponement tablet. So we ordered for the thyroid function test, and the reports is here. I will show the actual report copy also, because the visibility is not so good. I am returning. T3 was 0.01. Total T3, total T4 was 0.3, whereas normal the T3 should be between 0.6 to 1.8, and T4 4.5 to 12.6. So both are on low side, and TSH is more than 150. Just imagine, it is more than 150. So here rubric selected for repertorization. So sensitive, oversensitive mind, excitable easily, excitability, anticipating the event, brooding. These are the rubrics we selected and repertorized on the Kent method and Kent repertory. Drugs which came with maximum rubrics was gelsemium, lycopodium, sulfur, nexvomica, aurum, argentum, ignitia, pulsatilla, and phosphorus. Okay. Any suggestions?
Yes, sir. There are many suggestions in the chat box, sir. Like lycopodium, nexvomica, argentum nitricum, again nexvomica, lycopodium.
Very good. So without repertorizing, they are arriving at the drugs. As the only thing drug which is missing was the little pulsatilla.
Yes, sir. One doctor suggested pulsatilla also, sir.
So otherwise, you are very near to the repertorizal this thing. These are the drugs which was coming very close or with the maximum rubric. Before showing the drug, I'm showing this, the lab report, which was already I indicated because the visibility was not very clear. It was on the blue background, clarity was not there. Same thing. So TSH is more than 150. Okay, I think you can see. The drug selected was nexvomica. On 26th October, we gave nexvomica 200. So in my clinical practice, we follow the method called split dosage. We give three packets in one day in 4 hours interval. Okay, we may call it as in a single dose because it's a split doses, And what we give we ask them to, as the patient is, if the patient has any change of symptoms or any new symptoms, or either it's aggravation or amelioration, stop the next packet. Okay, otherwise they can take the 3 packets and followed. Usually we will follow with our rubrum or the expensive medicines, the placebo. On 9th, the first follow-up after 2 weeks, the swelling reduced, distension of abdomen reduced, lot of gas released, nausea only in the morning, low back pain, so PLO. Again, she came on 21st after 2 weeks, improving, weight reduced to 64. When she came, it was 68. Now it came to 64. TSH was 2.74. Sorry, T4, total T4 was 2.74 and TSH was less than 60. Okay. So I will show the lab reports, and we followed with the biochemic medicine. That is like a placebo. We give Calcarea flow. So you can see here lab test, only the TSH, which is showing the 60. Next follow-up was on 29th December, improving, no change in the weight. The TSH was 17.58. On January 2nd, improving, weight reduced by another 1 kg. TSH was 6.76. So these are all the lab reports. We can see it is the 17.56. Next was 6.7. Next, the TSH is 3.85. And just I will show. Okay. Sorry. I'm doing my next case. Okay. You can see here, it is 25th of December. All parameters came to the normal, including TSH. It was 3.85, and by that time, our even pregnancy test was also came positive. So the patient was very happy. So within the 3 months, three and a half months, where TSH was more than 150, and with the T3, T4 were on the lower side, all parameters, with the including the lab report, it shows that it all come to the normal. Okay. So, any suggestions, any questions in this case?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
So many participants are having this query: why Calcarea floor was given, sir?
See, good. One thing is, in my clinic, I use along with homeopathy few biochemic medicines, some tissue salts. So generally, I seen in my practice it doesn't interfere with my main selected remedy. And even though I gave it as like a placebo in a different shape, whereas we give the packets with the placebo, so this will be tablet type. So one thing. So more than that, here I will give one more explanation. This thing, the proper explanation for Calcarea floor is affinity. Calcarea floor has an affinity for the thyroid glands.
Okay, sir.
So I seen in my practice of last 30 years, Calcarea floors helps, but Calcarea floor alone will not help to reduce the TSH. Along with your indicated medicine, along with the stimulant, because we don't repeat the drug again more oftenly. Calcarea floor does the role of supportive. Lot of cases I see in the improvement. I don't use the thyroidinum, that type of medicines. So instead of that, I use the biochemic medicines. Either it may be Califas, Calcarea Fast, Calcarea Flow. So usually these medicines I give. I see in my practice for the hypothyroidism patients, Calcarea Flow helps a lot.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Okay. So
Yes, sir.
next case.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Sure, sir. Please, sir.
Okay. So this is the one that what you see in the first photograph. The plumpy lady. Okay. A female aged about 23 years, a lecturer in engineering college. She consulted me on the March 31st for the following problems. So they basically came for the infertility, anxious to conceive. So married life for 3.5 years. So the boy side is the only child. They wanted to, the grandparent, I mean, these parents wanted to see the grandchild. So that pressure was more. So even though 4 years is not big time, but for them already they tried with the other infertility clinics without much success. Okay. So her menses were irregular since puberty. The other symptoms was the giddiness since 3 weeks, headache on and off. See, when this patient came, I want to tell you how this patient approached me. Actually, this patient was referred by her husband's sister. She was my patient. So she suggested, she asked, sir, do you treat for infertility and all? And as we told, okay. Then she sent that patient. When the first time patient came, whole family, husband, wife, father-in-law, mother-in-law, sister-in-law, everybody came. And this lady did not open her mouth, very, very minimal talking. Yeah. Most of the thing was minimal, this one. And when I asking any other problem, no problem, sir. More after digging and this thing, I could get only this much of symptoms. So it looks no all vague type, giddiness, headache on and off, hair fall with dandruff, forgetfulness. So she had pimples on the cheeks, but now reduced. All these type of symptoms. Weight increasing since puberty. Appetite was normal. Bowels was regular. Her food habits, desire for salty and spicy food. No particular aversion. They are basically vegetarian family. So sleep normal. Dreams, lot of dreams she used to see, but no logic. No repetitive dreams except for childhood days. So she used to see the childhood days, that house and those things. Sometimes she used to see the forecasting dreams. She used to feel that when she visited some places, yes, already I seen this place, maybe in my dream. That's what she told me. So she told it's a known case of PCOD, but she did not brought any reports. It's from her native place she taken. After marriage, she not brought the scan reports. So her LMP was on the February 14th. So when patient came to me is the March 31st. Okay. See, this is what she used to look when she came to me. This is how. So I could not get more information. As I told you, she was with all the family members. So majority of the questions were answered by the family members, and her play was much less. So in the beginning, I thought she is very timid, very shy. Okay. So I advised for the further investigation, thyroid profile, scanning reports. I asked her. So I asked the patient, you want them to? I will send them outside. Do you want to talk to me? So she told, no problem, sir. There is nothing to hide. Everything is this thing like that one. She did not encourage. So next time I told, you have to come with a single attendant, preferably your husband. You both only come. Don't bring the whole family. So on the picture, what I could get this thing, I thought she is a pulsatilla, even to look and the symptoms, mild, yielding, timid, YMT drug, mild, yielding, timid and all. So I gave Pulsatilla 200. I saw the patient on the next was on after 10 days. So that is on the 9th they came. No, it is after 3 months. After 3 months with the following reports. So there was no change. Her weight was increasing. Menses are irregular. So she did not come for the this thing. She told to get all the reports and all. It took time. So the sonography showed the PCOD, polycystic ovaries, and thyroid was 6.86 on the higher side. So this is her report, scan report, where it is showed polycystic ovaries. And our thyroid report shows 6.86. Okay. Patient is very sensitive. So after when she came next time with only husband, I was trying to find out her the little deeper. We wanted to go what we could the information we could collect is she's very sensitive, want to please everyone. In that process, she used to get hurt in the process of pleasing, and she used to feel depressive. There was an adjustment problem with mother-in-law. Had a fight 2 weeks back. She doesn't like to fight. She doesn't know how to talk, how to behave. She told one word. They have problem due to me. I want to take divorce so that they can all will be very happy. See, you may not get the repertorial this thing for this one, but it speaks a lot. This shows her the true nature. What she told, she was not complaining about her husband or the mother-in-law. She tells that the quarrels are coming because of me. I don't know how to talk, how to behave. So I think if I take the divorce, then all those people will be happy. She wanted to take divorce because she wanted them to be happy. This is Maria Mitra. In this stage, anybody, any suggestions of the drug?
Yes, sir, there are many suggestions, sir. Like Staphysagria,
Very good.
Ignatia,
Very good.
Tepia, Carcinosin,
Very good.
Phosphorus, Natramur,
good.
Calcarea carb.
Okay.
That's all.
Calcarea carb maybe because of her look. It's
Yes,
a chronic of Pulsatilla, Calcarea carb. And the drug very close to this thing was the Staphysagria Natramine. No? For this personality, where they want to please everyone, in that process they get hurt. And they become the brood. They will be very unhappy. Okay? I'll just show what drug I give. The drug was magnesium mure. See the changes now. So they came on 9th July. Next follow-up was the August 4th. No menses yet. Pimples on the face, upper back, chest and shoulder. So no change in the prescription. I given the placebo. Menses started on August 6th. Flow was for 5 days. Pimple reduced, weight reduced. So we continue our most expensive medicine. And next follow-up, September, no complaints, but no menses yet. Okay. So she was expecting around 5th, 6th. Usually she used to for 28 days. So on 8th also there was no menses. See her, the way she become now after the 2 months of treatment. On 24th September, all family members came again with a sweet box. The urine pregnancy test was positive. She had nausea and burn. Sorry, 1 minute. Nausea and burning in epigastric region, better by belching. So that is like a morning sickness type. So I gave some few packets of Carbo-H and based on the local symptoms. See the changes, the way she improved. Pregnancy test. The report positive, and the scanning scanning report this one after 3 years. This is a child, the homeopathic child. Okay, now discussion, or
Yes, sir.
this one more case and we'll come back to discussions.
Okay, sir. Sure, sir.
The last case. Okay, we'll finish this so that this discussion may go little longer. I wanted to compare with other remedies. Okay,
Okay, sir. Sure, sir.
so this is the case that genital warts. Sorry. Is, I think first slide. This is the one what you see. You all may be knowing the warts, especially genital warts, are very challenging to treat. See, when he came on the June 20th, see the number of warts, small warts on the full pubic region and the even on the penis. Okay. So, sorry. After nearly a month of treatment, we can see there are a lot of small warts disappeared. Okay, from 20th June to 23rd July. Next visit he came was the September 7th. Majority of the warts are the big wart. It's fallen out. Patient told, "Oh, apne aap gir gaya." So it's fallen out, and you can see the changes. All pubic region is clear. These are all shrinking. Okay. What is the drug? Now we can come back to the Zoom this thing.
So there are many suggestions like Tuja,
Sir, you
Help
just turn
camera.
off the screen share, sir. Sir, can you just turn off the screen share? Stop the screen share.
Now you can see.
No.
You can see my face.
Haven't done, sir. Sir, we can see the face. You just turn off the video sharing, screen sharing, sir.
Okay.
Yes. Now it's okay, sir. Okay. Okay.
So lot of
so there are
suggestions.
many suggestions.
Very good.
Yes, sir.
I'm seeing Sabena, nitric acid, Tuja. Okay, again nitric acid, Tuja, nitric
Causticum.
acid, causticum. Good. Good. Medorinum. Good. Staphysagria. Good. So the calcarea carb. Good calcarea carb. The first drug usually it will come to our mind for all warts is Tuja. He is a king of warts. But when you go to the repertory and see, warts on penis is nitric acid. Okay, along with Tuja and this thing also. But the drug selected was Medorinum, Medorinum tenem. Here I want to tell you the difference between the Tuja and Medorinum. Here this patient, when he came to my clinic, majority of the time we see these are the patients when you ask for the history of exposure, they deny. They tell, no sir, I not went, I'm a family man and all that one. He is actually a person who is working in a hotel industry. He is like a assistant to the cook. He migrated from northeastern part from Assam. When he consulted me, when he came, I asked, there was any history of exposure, you went out. He told, yes sir. This is the difference between Tuja and Medorinum. In Tuja, generally they hide. Generally they don't come out with this. And otherwise, Tuja is for inherited psychosis. Medorinum for the acquired psychosis. Like a gonorrhea, active gonorrhea infections. Medorinum works better than Tuja. And it was a recent exposure that made me to give Medorinum. Somebody asked why tenem. See, when the drug is similimum clear, give higher potency, you can see the result much faster. Here I want to appreciate one person who gave advice this Staphysagria. It's a very beautiful remedy. I treated one genital wart of a female who was a physiotherapist in one of the corporate hospital. She had the genital warts and it wonderfully regressed with the Staphysagria. Okay. Okay. Any other clarity for this case? Then we will move to the previous case. Yes. Tuja is also a drug. I am not telling no exactly what you shown is right. I am telling the differentiation, how to differentiate. Organizers, any more? I have not seen all the questions. Any question related to this?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Dr.
Yes, sir.
Vinodini, just ask, sir. Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
There was somebody was asking Medorinum is good for axillary and neck warts. Yes. See, here it is. When you go to the repertory, there will be site-wise, there are some drugs will be there. What I wanted to emphasize here is the clinical case taking. That plays a role. So here, how they narrate, how they tell, how they react, that is more important. That's what I showed. And especially the warts around the neck. In my clinical practice, we've seen good results with the calcarea carp. Soft warts around the neck. Okay. How do you reach to Medorinum? I told you, no. Medorinum is a person, he is very daredevil. He tells, yes, I done the sin. What do you think? Not like Tuja. Tuja is always hide. It's very secretive. Okay. Repetition, no. So as I told you in my clinical practice, we have the split remedy. So we give 3 doses within a day, every 4 hours once to repeat. Afterwards, it will be only placebo. Why not nitric acid? The Medorinum was very clear. So I did not, and nitric acid, usually nitric acid warts are very sensitive and painful also. Yes. Okay. We'll go to the previous case.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
In previous case, that is the case was more looking like when I had a selection. I was thinking the selection between the natrium mure and magnesium mure and Staphysagria. Here Staphysagria
Sir,
Sir?
I think the video got stuck.
less female aromat. It's a male remedy. So they are very good in their work, very workaholic, very neat, decent. They love their work and duty conscious, straightforward, all that one. But very responsible people. But they do the duty. They want to make others happy. But in that process, they get hurt. They do welfare for the others, good for the others. In the reverse, they get it hurt. But in Auramet, usually the heart is the one primary organ. Heart get disturbed. They take everything into the heart. Their respect is very, very important. The place is important. Auramet, the materialistic world is very important. Dignity is very important. Okay. Now we'll come back to these three drugs, especially the Magmure, natrium mure. As I told you, Staphysagria I told. Here, natrium mure is a person. Natrium mure is also very sensitive person, easily get hurt. They also feel the same thing. They try to do good for others. On the way back, they get hurt from the other people. Natrium mure is like a princess in a glass house. Either they throw the stone to other, or others throw the stone to her. Both will damage her palace. You got it? They are the princess sitting in a glass house. If others hurt her, it gets affected. She broods. She constantly, why they done this one? If they hurt others also, it injures them. They feel guilt. Why they done all these things? Okay, so it is both way. It injures us both way. Magmure is the one where Magmure, when they try to please others, they get hurt, but they never express. It is only the face will express. By words, they will not express. They always tell that, sir, they are all good, sir. Then let it be happy. I am only not right. Always they take the blame on themselves. That's why I told that words. Sir, if I take a divorce, I think their whole family will be happy. They are unhappy because of me. I don't know how to talk. I don't know how to behave. See, this is that self-blaming, getting hurt and blaming. And the Magmure people are the one who they try maximum not to be quarrel. They're peacemakers, pacifists, always peacemakers. It is not only they are quarreling, they cannot even like to see the others quarreling also. If somebody else is also quarreling, they get affected. And majority of them, there will be in childhood, they witness the quarrel between the parents or quarrel between the grandparents and the parents. These are the people at that time, they always try to either try to make a peace out of them, or they sulk that one, and that will build the anxiousness always. And these are the people very duty conscious. They try to do good for the others. In that process, they take too much of work. They cannot say no. And in that burden only they crumble. They are unable to meet, and that develops the anxiousness. See what happens? No, they take the goal higher and higher. Once they cannot reach below any her capacity, then they develop the anxiousness. That anxiousness on constant, that will build the bitterness. Majority of our clinical practices, I see lot of magnesium mure cases we give natrium, because natrium mure is much better proven remedy, much more we read that one. So always when you think of natrium mure, always try to rule out the magnesium. I'll give few tips for that one, the clinical tips. Natrium mure and mag mure look similar, especially when it comes to the female genital organs. Menses irregular, menses profuse, the flow will be, both the cases flow will be more in night. Okay, but one clinical tip I will give you. Natrium mure have very, very few dreams, whereas mag mure have plenty of dreams. Lot of dreams will be there in mag mure. Related, not related, anxious. Whereas natrium mure dreams are only much, I seen in practice is only they talk about the robbery, dreams of robbers. Okay. Otherwise, mag mure have a lot of dreams or no dreams. Both will be there, but much I seen in the practice is lot of dreams. One more clinical tip is, usually they develop the pimples before menses. It's regular acne. Sir, I'll know that under 2-3 days my periods will come. I develop the pimple, acne on the face. This is also sometimes gives the hint for the prescribing the mag mure. Apart from female genital organs, mag mure is a wonderful remedy for the liver complaints. I treated one wonderful case of there was a tumor in the common bile duct. So that patient was admitted in the hospital. They are planned for the surgery. Her daughter was my student. She brought. Then we gave the medicine. We avoided surgery. That all fine. I gave the medicine was a mag mure. There, the hurt, the insult, the mag mure people doesn't express. They gulp, and it will show in the liver. How for Auramet is the heart, mag mure it is a liver. Okay. Generally, mag mure patient have some problem with the liver, either the digestion or the bowels, constipation, something will be there. So this is one more clinical tip for you to take home. Okay, I hope. So I given the justice. There is something to take home from you with my class. So any other questions? Hello.
Yes,
Deepu?
sir. Yes, sir.
I thought you
Yes,
all
sir,
went
yes,
for
yes,
the
yes,
dinner.
No, we are here.
No,
Sir.
sir. No, sir.
Dinner. Yes,
So
yes.
there
Yes,
is
ma'am.
one question from Dr. Priyanka. Sensitivity and easily hurt is also high in plant remedies. So how to differentiate between minerals and plants?
Okay. See, I don't believe in giving the drugs on the kingdom basis. So you are to understand the Materia Medica, you read the classification and reading is different. I always believe the Hahnemannian method. You prove the remedy, according to provings, you match. Okay. So, but as she rightly told, lot of plant remedies are all plant remedies are easily get hurted. They are very sensitive. Plant remedies are sensitive. There are so many drugs in the non-plant remedies. We are sensitive also. Lot of drugs. Okay. So what I told is YMT. I told no. So that is Y yielding, M is mild, team is timid. So this, along with lot of plant remedies, there are a lot of minerals like a natramure, magmure, silica, and APs. They're all comes under this one. They're all easily get hurted. As I told you, sorry, your aurum get hurt easily, but how they react to that makes the difference. In homeopathy, it is the person or the patient, how they react to stimuli, that makes the differentiation, not the causative factor. See, if 3 people walks in the park and come across with a snake, all the 3 people may react in a different way. It is, we give the medicines based on their reaction, not on the seeing the snake. That is the basic difference between allopathy and homeopathy. If the 10 cases of typhoid patient comes, we may give for 10 people different medicine. Okay, so how they react, that makes, and hurt, how they express the hurt, how they swallow the hurt, and which organ will show. See, in the magmure and natramure, always the physical complaint followed by the hurt. You can see physical complaint followed by the hurt. Whereas in the aurum, it is the emotional complaint. They will get more depressed, emotional reactivity. They take everything into the heart. Whereas in the natramure and magmure, physical complaint, either they that land up in the GIT, or that may land up in the natramure, it may land up in the headache, or it may be the genital, urogenital organs. But it will always come, or the skin, so it will always channelize to the physical symptoms. Okay, this is how we have to do it. Okay.
Yes, sir. So there is one more query from Dr. Sunita. Can you please? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. There is one more query from Dr. Sunita, ma'am. Can you please repeat the differentiation of Staphylococcus aureus in this, sir?
Yeah, I told, sorry, maybe you have not heard. Staphylococcus aureus, even though they get hurt, they will not lose the sweetness. They will not become bitter or the sour. I don't want to call it as a bitter. Sour. The disposition will be sour in the magmure and natramure. Whereas that the sweetest disposition doesn't disappear in Staphylococcus aureus. Staphylococcus aureus, until they blow up, either there is nothing in between. You got it? Whereas this muratics, the natramure and magmure, there the sourness is shown in their expressions. In natramure, they're shown in the words. In natramure, they're shown in the cry. They cry, they express. Okay? But in magmure, they don't express, it will only the face will show. Whereas in sepia, it will become bitter. And they use the bad words. Okay? The person who hurt, they quarrel. Whereas magmure doesn't quarrel. Even the fault is there in the opposite side, they tell, no, my fault only. They are right, I am only wrong. This is the character of magmure.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Okay?
So there is, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Any other thing? Otherwise,
Yes,
as
sir,
I don't want to stand much between your dinner plate. And,
no problem, sir. No problem, sir.
We can move for 5 minutes more, sir. No problem, sir.
Okay. So somebody was asking about the corona influenza. Is it? Should I talk or is it fine?
So you can talk, sir. No problem, sir.
Somebody, I saw the question going on. So see, because if I open that, it is a big one. So otherwise, I will do one thing. One more time, we will talk only. I am handling the corona positive cases. I am taking the cases in the Bangalore now. Corona is become very rapidly increasing. I am doing the tele consultation with a very good success rate. Within 48 hours, the symptoms are coming down, and majority of them are discharging within 5 days. Okay. So somebody asked for influenzinum. Yes, influenzinum is also one of the remedy. But in Bangalore, arsenic and bryonia working better. Okay, but with I always either start or end with a nosode. So I use both tuberculum and influenzinum both. But I just give as a 1 dose, whereas the arsenic or the bryonia or gelsemium, these remedies I'm repeating. See, I'm repeating sometimes even every 3 hours, every 4 hours once. Generally, you see, no, throughout my lecture, I always tell I give 1 dose and I keep quiet. So, but not for everywhere. Whenever the viral load is more, you have to repeat, because see, your repetition potency always depends on the case. Here, the cases virus will spread, multiply very fast, so you have to repeat. Okay, I think I answered them. Yes, madam.
Sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay.
Yes. There is one more query from Dr. Rajapriya. Can you please differentiate Aurum-Met and Natrum Carb in the phase of responsibility, sir?
See, Aurum-Met is responsibility-wise, they are very responsible. So once they take up the responsibility, they'll see that in spite of their personal not well-being also, they don't care. They go behind there because they accept that responsibility, they see that it will fulfill. And I will tell you, Aurum is also one of the beautiful duty-conscious drug, like a Kali, like a Ferrum. That is also beautiful duty-conscious drug. And they take the responsibility. Whereas Natrum Carb, they ask Natrum Carb, no?
Yes, sir.
Natrum
Yes,
Carb
sir.
or Natrum?
Natrum Carb, sir.
Yeah, Natrum Carb was also, but Natrum Carb, the intensity wise, it doesn't come to the level of Aurum. Okay, Natrum Carb is more sympathetic than Aurum, but when it comes to responsibility, it is Aurum. Aurum is very strong responsible. Here, carbon element sometimes make the responsibility not as much as the Aurum.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Okay, next.
Yes, sir. There is one more query from Dr. Fatima.
The questions are answered?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm.
There is one more query from Dr. Fatima. Can you please differentiate between carcinosin and Magnius, sir?
Carcinosin also very sensitive drug. Good, very good question. I missed the carcinosin in the differentiation. Correct, because when I saw the answers, carcinosin was not there. So I missed the carcinosin in the differentiation. Carcinosin also very sensitive drug. Very sensitive drug. But their sensitivity is for ripramide. Okay? Sensitivity, they get hurt by ripramide. Whereas in the Magnu, even the simple fight, it is need not to be with them. Even with the others will also get hurt. You got the difference? Carcinosin is a sensitive, that is also AMT drug, very sensitive people, very artistic, very imaginative. So it's a beautiful remedy. But there it is, sensitiveness is more towards the reprimand, the punishment. Here it's more reprimand, the sensitiveness is more for the quarrel. Even the little rise of voice can make them hurt. Okay? Need not to be the scolding. Just if the father raises the voice, that itself will make them sensitivity for Magni.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Yes.
Okay, sir. Sir, Deepu, sir?
Dr. Vinodini?
Yes, sir.
We can wind up the session. Can you invite Dr. Rekha, ma'am?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Sir, it was a wonderful session, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
attendance, ma? How was the attendance? What
Sir,
is
there were about more than 300 participants, sir.
We have around 330 participants, sir. 330. Okay, sir.
So I
Rekha ma'am?
invite Dr. Rekha ma'am to deliver the vote of thanks. Please, ma'am.
Hello, good evening, sir. Though I am from Bangalore, DHMC, I have no personal interaction with you, sir, till now. But this session was too good, very wonderful, sir. And you just, with an open mind, you analyzed each thing very beautifully. And you elucidated the cases as well very nicely. It was a very wonderful session. Thank you so much for coming to our IHMA webinars and making it a success, sir. Thank you so much on behalf of IHMA. And I also, pardon, sir? Dr. Rekha, sir, Rekha Srinivasan. Rekha,
your name? What's your name?
Dr. Rekha.
Rekha. Okay, okay.
Yes, sir. Rekha Srinivasan.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Good.
I have heard about you from others, sir, but you may not be knowing me. I am Dr. Shripad Hegde's student. Dr. Shripad Hegde's student. Yes, sir. And thank you all the participants for your continual. Yes, sir.
And
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. All the participants, thank you all for your continuous support and learning in Chennai, sir. Chennai.
Okay.
Thank you so much. One and all.
Dr. Tejasvi, sir, are you there? Tejasvi, sir?
so thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, sir.
Thank you,
I
sir.
think it's raining there.
No, I want to thank AHMA, Deepu, Tejasvi, and one more that lady.
Dr.
Dr.
Vinodini.
Vinodini.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Okay, bye, sir. We are winding up,
Okay.
sir.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay.